What's going on, guys? This is Nick with Small Engine Wizard once again, and today we're going to be looking at a Deluxe 28 Ariens. We have a lot of belt issues with these, and along with the Deluxe 30s, there's also belt issues. We're going to take a quick look at those. I have two of these in the shop. One was really bad, and the other one wasn't so bad. So I'm going to show you both. I'm going to show you how to fix it so it doesn't happen again. So let's take a look at this, what's going on. Really, it's an issue of the belts not lining up. Once again, Ariens belt design is proven to be absolutely terrible. So take a look at that, and let's dive on in. As we can see right here, the belts are in a horrendous position, but they kind of make it so when you hit the lever, it levels itself out, but it really kind of doesn't. So while we're idling this machine, the belt is constantly trying to hop itself off of there. Most of these machines, they have the rod at the top, not on the bottom, so the angle isn't so severe with the belt. But for some reason, Ariens thought it was a good idea to put the rod at the bottom where it pivots. Most of them run along the top, up here. So there's also another couple issues with this. One of them is right in here, there's a pin, and then there's also supposed to be one right here. But this one fell out. Also out here, we got a pin. That one didn't fall out yet, but this one was about to fall out. I kind of just pushed this one back in here. And what happens is this whole friction plate, it slides, and we don't want that. So if that happens, it eventually eats into our idler arm right back here. And it also does eat into the pulley, which it's kind of tough to see in the video, but it did start to eat into it. And there is somewhere right around here on that. So with this thing bouncing around, it looks like that the belt is short enough, but it's not. So we're gonna go ahead and find a belt that is just a little bit shorter, and we're gonna see what we can do with this thing to get this guy back up and running, so he doesn't have this problem again, because if we just slap it back together again like this, the same thing's gonna happen. We will check out one that I have over across the shop. We will see what happens when those pins do fall out and this whole plate does slide. So on this one here, the pins actually fell out, which is allowing this whole plate to slide. Do that. Slide-a-ronski. So what we have going on here is that this entire plate, our friction plate, it decided to slide because those pins fell out. And when that happened, it dug grooves right into our idler arm. So this whole plate will actually slide back and forth because it's missing the pins. When that happens, it's obviously rubbing on that arm, and we can't have that happen. It's gonna be an expensive repair because everything in here has to be replaced. We need a new friction plate, we need a new arm here, the inside and the outside arm, the one for the auger and for the drive. So it's really kind of a big issue. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna have a remedy on that. So what I like to do is we're gonna take these pins out, here also, and we're gonna slide this pin out. In here, this hole, and here, this hole. I like to put stainless Cotter pins in there. We do actually have to drill out the holes just a little bit larger in order to get a Cotter pin through that's of adequate size. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna get that rod out of there. We're going to put some holes in it. So our bolt does have to come off. So now we can get this pin out. It just slides out. Might have to tap it with a hammer or something. Now what we have here is we got two holes. We got one here, we got one here. And we also have one on the side. Sits like this. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drill these holes out just a little bit larger. And then we're gonna slide a 3/32 Cotter pin through there. I prefer to use stainless steel just because it's a little bit stronger. It holds up a little bit better and they don't bend as easy as the regular steel ones. Let's throw that on in there. Okay, so we got our holes drilled. Make sure that our Cotter pins slip through nice and easy, and they do. You want them more snug than not. So whatever size Cotter pin you decide to use, just make sure you go up real slow in drill bit sizes, because if it's too big, you gotta get a new rod or you gotta try and fit a larger Cotter pin in there. But there's only so much room. You guys will see that in just a sec. Put this rod back through, this little tap. So what I like to do is take them and put them in the pliers just like that, and then reach it from the back side. And it will slide in, but it is a pain. There's not really much room to fit it in any other way. There we go. This is really where our second pair of pliers come in handy. Probably won't be able to fold this over correctly if you're not holding the rod. This like so. Start to get a fold on it. And grab the other side. Fold it down and get our other pin in. We're gonna cut these a little bit shorter. So now we can twist down. We want to get that folded in so it can twist, because we need to twist it. So then we can twist, not too far though, because the other side of our cotter pin is in the way. Fold this side down. And then the same thing for the other side. So what we're gonna do for this outside pin is we're going to try and double washer it. So that way it can't slide in and out even further. And we'll also throw a cotter pin in that one. Get a nice fold on that. We're not sliding anymore. We should be good to go. So here we're gonna add a couple of these machine bushings behind the pulley so we can get it spaced out. So hopefully that belt is going to be in the correct position, or closer to the correct position, so it's not at such a severe angle. We're still at a pretty harsh angle, but really what it looks like when we press down, that is the question. And also it's gonna slide back a little bit more once we tighten this. So unfortunately, we kind of got to add a lot of these things. I mean, I'm at 5 right now. It's not really the correct way to do it, but I mean, what else do we do? So that's at less of an angle. So I'm at 5 right now, and we're gonna see what that looks like. So as you guys can see, it's a lot less severe of an angle. We hit our lever, it comes back, and now we're kind of like right in between position. It's very hard to tell in the video, but because I'm looking at it straight, and now our belts are really lined up pretty good. So we went ahead and slipped this belt on here. Also, what someone told me to do is put a little piece of fuel line on the bolt that retains the plate from moving forward. So we did that, and now we are actually lined up very, very good. And this belt is a 115-4669. Actually looks like it lines up very well now. A lot better than it was at least. And then when we pull that back, we're actually at a pretty good position. With this belt on there, we're probably a 1/4 inch further away than it was. So this should actually work pretty good, because we don't want a belt that's too short, because then it's gonna wear it out quick, and then this spring won't work. We're gonna have to find a different spring. But with that sort of distance, I don't think it'll be an issue with this bouncing around. I don't think it'll hit it. So let's get this bolted up and see what we're dealing with. So I actually do like to use a bolt that's a little bit longer, just because of the space that we put in there. We want a little bit more thread engagement than what the stock one can offer. So after you do this, just make sure that your auger pulley is also lined up correctly, because sometimes it'll shove it too far forward. These were pretty inconsistent when they made them. On a couple of them, it's still lined up pretty good, but on some of them it's not, and it throws it way out. So just when you put it on, make sure the auger is still lined up to where it's supposed to be. And we won't really know until we get the belt on there and we get the auger assembly on here in order to see exactly what we're dealing with. This one is gonna get some orange Loctite. Thread it on in there. We don't want it too tight, but we want it tight. Just snug that on down and we'll be good. So with that all done, I'm gonna throw this thing back together completely, and then we'll see exactly what we're dealing with and if it's gonna, you know, keep throwing the belt. Okay, so now that everything's back together, our auger looks very good and our drive also looks very good. Neither of these should really be any sort of an issue anymore. In the event that it is, I'm sure I will get a call back. I'm going to test this out outside right now, and we will see what happens. Okay, so we just tested this thing out outside and it worked great. Really, it's gonna be longevity. It kind of really depends on what that belt material is made out of, if it's okay for the cold weather. It really might not be. Some snow thrower belts are very specific. They hold up differently in different temperatures, in different environments. So we're gonna see what happens with that. If I got a call back, I'll take care of this customer. But as far as everything else goes, this thing's ready to go out the door pretty much. Got to throw a couple covers back on. Thanks for watching, guys. We got this machine back up on the road. It worked flawless. So I will link that belt in the description. If you could like and subscribe, super appreciated. I'll keep doing more videos like this. Thanks, guys.